starting these verbal altercations?
He will just disrespect me, and then I will go back at him.
She verbally abuses us.
You're raising children who are going to have to recover from their childhood. You're suing because you said she used $1,500 to get breast augmentation.
I get in touch with her family. They're like, she's probably in surgery right now. Surgery for what?
Well, sir, are you or are you not using the product that she purchased?
I actually just married an empty alcoholic.
And you rushed in it because you were looking for a Band-Aid. Here is today's case.
How many random women's nude photos and disappearing acts in Las Vegas does it take to end a relationship? This woman says one, but he says it's all one big misunderstanding. Will this relationship see another day? That's today's case on Divorce Court.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, our virtual audience is filled with your superfans. Today's superfan of the day is Anna Lynn from Wallington, New Jersey.
It's amazing to have you with us, Anna Lynn. As our special guest today, I'm sending you an autographed copy of my book, Sis, Don't Settle.
Your Honor, this is a case of Pina-Rivera versus Maura.
Thank you, Juan. Miss Jena Rivera?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought Mr. Shannon Maura
Yes, Your Honor.
to divorce court today. I understand the two of you have been in a long-term relationship for 3 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are contemplating marriage.
Yes,
and
Your
you're here today because you want Mr. Maura to either commit to marriage or it's time for you to go your separate ways in your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll start with you, ma'am. Why don't you give me some background?
Yes, Your Honor. I am bringing my boyfriend Shannon here today because I think it's time to take the next step in our relationship and walk down the aisle. Shannon and I have been together for 3 years. We have a beautiful 10-month-old baby boy, and I've been living the wifey life without the wifey title. We met in 2015 in college. I was actually laughing at a drunk picture my friends had of him, and he thought I was flirting across the hall. So he approached me on the way out. We exchanged numbers and have been together ever since. There are a couple of issues in our relationship. Communication is a big one for me. Yes, Your
What do
Honor.
you have to say about you being here today?
Yeah, so I'm being brought here today because she wants to get married, and I'm totally against marriage.
In general, or just in this relationship at this time?
Just from my experience, I don't really know like a lot of happy like marriages. I see people still together, but they're not really. I don't know if they're happy. And I come from a home where both of my parents are married, but outside of that, I don't see a lot of people that are happy. And I feel like it gives you people lack the. They don't want to compete anymore. They lose their self. They gain weight. It's not happy weight. It's just you don't care because you're stuck with that person. You become complacent. Also, I feel as though that people that are married basically have restrictions. Their partners are. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's an interesting perspective, and I think a lot of people have that perspective because you said, although your parents are married, you look around to your friends, other people, and you don't see it. So you're afraid of that happening for your relationship and the two of you going down that road as young people. You're in your 20s right now. You think it's working out as it is.
Yes.
But you say it's not really working out. Let's talk about some of those issues. You said the first big problem you've had is communication.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm the type of communicator that if I'm upset about something, I keep my head down, don't talk to me, don't touch me. I don't like confrontation, so I try my best to avoid it. Shannon is the type of communicator that he likes to hit it head on when it's fresh. For example, one time he left his laptop at the house and curiosity got the best of me and I went through it. I seen some inappropriate messages, some pictures, and instead of addressing it right away, I waited about 3 weeks and it took until we were relaxing, had a couple drinks, and then I was comfortable enough to address it. He was very upset because he felt as though it's something we could have handled when it happened in that hour or so. When I found it, I could have talked to him about it. And I'm one of those people that I try to avoid confrontation and arguments.
So what happened during that 3-week time period?
I was just, don't touch me, don't talk to me. And he, what's wrong? Are you okay? Is everything all right? And I just kept saying yes. And he knew something was wrong. I just wasn't ready to address what it was yet.
Yes, Your Honor. I was totally wrong for having nudes in my phone, right? And I will admit to that. But I don't really see, I see a problem with it, but what is the difference between going to a strip club, right? Men go to a strip club and spend money, I'm getting news for free. And that's less money that I'm spending out, and that's more money in the house.
That's an interesting perspective that I've never heard before in divorce court. But you stopped doing it after that. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
But that was the first big sign of communication being an issue because you didn't talk for 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
And my thing is, like, the news in your phone are more personal. You're asking for it. You had a conversation before this was sent to you. You know
Oh, he
what
was
I mean?
asking for the
Not
photos?
necessarily, but she's not sending them for no reason.
So you have a conversation about that. You decide to work past it and you say, okay, I understand this bothers you. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yes, Your Honor.
But then what happens next?
It stopped after that. I did check again. But it stopped after that.
One thing you have to understand, if you're going to start going through people's personal belongings, when you find something, you have to be prepared to make a decision about what you're going to find.
Yes, Your
Instead
Honor.
of ignoring it and being mad for 3 weeks, if you're going to do that, if you're going to snoop, be prepared. You go to Las Vegas for Memorial Day weekend, and you said that's another big issue in the communication. What happened?
So, yes, Your Honor. I dropped Shannon off at the airport at 4 a.m. for his flight. I didn't speak to Shannon until when it was time to pick him up from the airport. His excuses were...
How many days was that?
3 days. We have a 10-month-old baby boy at home. His excuses were, I didn't have my charger, there's bad connection in Vegas, our hotel had bad connection, and I'm like, I'm at home. If you don't want to check on me, we have a son that adores you, and you didn't even have the courtesy to check in on him.
Were you calling?
Yes.
Texting?
Yes, Your Honor.
No response?
No response,
For
Your
3
Honor.
days?
Yes, Your Honor.
If it was an emergency, I'm still looking to see. You can leave me a voicemail, but vacation is to disconnect from where you live.
So you purposefully disconnected and did not answer her calls or messages?
Yes, ignoring
Were you
me.
not interested in talking to your girlfriend for 3 days? What about your son? FaceTiming with your son?
I was away from home. Like, vacation is you leave an area that you live in and you go somewhere else to enjoy, to debrief, to let your hair down, although I don't have any.
But you were out and about in Vegas, am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you did have service. Your phone was not on 12% for 3 days.
Thank you.
So you were using excuses, but in reality, you're telling the truth today. You did not want to talk to her for
Yes,
that
Your
3-day
Honor.
time period.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I can understand why communication is a big issue.
This particular Saturday, we decided to have a picnic with our son. I was excited. It was time for me and my man and my baby to just sit down, relax, debrief. As we sit down, like 10 minutes into the picnic, before I think about it, he grabs his keys, he up and leaves, and just left us high and dry for the rest of the day.
Mr. Maura? What happened with the flat tire?
Yes, Your Honor. So we do not get a lot of family time due to us both working full-time jobs. Shannon has just published a book, so he's always in the studio. He works a construction job. And like I said, I work full-time job. So this particular Saturday, we decided to have a picnic with our son. I was excited. It was time for me and my man and my baby to just sit down, relax, debrief. And as we sit down, like 10 minutes into the picnic, he gets a phone call. His friend has a flat tire and needs his help. What kind of grown man doesn't know how to fix his own tire? You need him to come help you? Come on. Mm-hmm. So before I think about it, he grabs his keys, he up and leaves, and just left us high and dry for the rest of the day.
Mr. Maura?
So, Your Honor, I have a big heart. Like, I'm very loyal to my friends. I basically treat them like family. Mm-hmm. So, like, as she said, I work a lot. So I have, I'm into construction. I'm on my own ATM company, and I published a book. So I'm in the studio. So I don't have a lot of time for, like, I don't want to say my family, but my friends either. Mm-hmm. So if I have free time and someone needed my help and needed my assistance, and if you knew my friend, you would understand why he didn't know how to change a tire. He doesn't know how to do much.
But did you have free time? Because at that moment you were at a picnic with your family.
Exactly.
You consider that to be free time, that you had time to spare to pick up and leave?
Yes.
So what were you and your big heart doing for the rest of the day?
So once we fixed his tire, we went back to his house and had a couple of drinks, and basically we just talked about some of his issues, just like, chopped it up.
We have alcohol at our house. He got a drink at our house. We have a deck.
So you chopped it up for the rest of the day after you left mid-picnic. Phone service was okay that day. No issues. You just disappeared. That's one of the issues, communication, but you also say that intimacy is a big problem for the two of you.
Yes. So one time we were on a cruise and we got the suite with the balcony, and He was out on the deck naked and wanted me to join him. I am very, very conservative. So initially I was not for it. I'm like, we had just met our neighbors next to us and they can see onto our deck. Eventually I was like, let's spice it up a little bit. He seems upset, I'll do it.
Out on the balcony?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Maura?
So, Your Honor, we on vacation, right? I'm trying to get nasty. I'm sorry.
Out on the balcony?
Yes, ma'am. We are on
even
vacation.
where the neighbors could see?
I probably won't even see them ever again in my life. So who cares if I'm
They gonna remember what
naked?
this looks like.
You only live once.
Yes.
And you out there.
Yes, we out there. Record and send it to us. That's how I feel.
So you're all about making memories.
Making memories.
We can make memories in the shower, in the bed, in private.
So you're going for the scrapbook. You want to have some evidence of these memories.
Yes, ma'am.
You say at home, there's no problem with you being fiscally responsible. You both work, you're both responsible.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you said there's been an issue with the cooking and the meals.
Yes, Your Honor. So I was raised in a Hispanic household. We make rice and beans, chuletas, some plátanos, we make pastelillos, we make all that stuff. Shannon is the soul food kind of. He likes the chicken and the mashed potato and all that stuff. He occasionally asks me to cook something that I'm not 100% sure how. I wish he would show me and take time to teach me.
Like what?
Like the one time he asked me to make some chicken, asparagus, and some sweet potatoes.
Really?
So I thought about it, and I'm sitting here like, if I cook what you want wrong, you're gonna be upset. If I cook what I know how to cook and I know I'm not gonna mess up, you're gonna be upset.
You were in an accident.
So I was on my motorcycle and fell off. Went unconscious for a little bit.
I was pregnant with our 10-month-old. I was driving behind him and seeing the entire accident.
Basically, she's upset that she wasn't able to
Make medical decisions.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
If I cook what you want wrong, you're gonna be upset. If I cook what I know how to cook and I know I'm not gonna mess up, you're gonna be upset. So that particular day, I chose, again, the rice and beans, some plantains, and some chicken that I knew how to cook, and he walked in the house and was not expecting that. He expected his chicken and sweet potatoes and asparagus and was very upset that I did not know how to make what he wanted.
Interesting. Juan, what do you have to say about this?
I don't
Those are some
know.
of your favorite meals.
Man, you can't have enough of arroz y góndolas, man. I mean,
Exactly, never enough.
Your Honor, is that too much to ask
I'm
for?
from the South, so I feel you on this.
I'm tired of coming home to rice and beans. Maybe I want some.
I make it different every time. Sometimes there's some sauces, sometimes there's some pork. It's different.
Do you know how to make any of those dishes?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you show her? If you know how?
Thank you, Your
But
Honor.
that's what you could do. YouTube, TikTok. Like, there's so many different avenues to learn. Like, everything is on Google.
So you want her to use the tools of the internet?
Yes, ma'am. That's
A
right.
lot of guys would be pretty happy coming home and having a warm meal on the table every night. I have to say, Mr. Maura.
warm meal?
It's not the same, it changes.
You do have a child together,
Yes.
a 10-month-old.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were in an accident.
Yes, July of 2020, Your Honor.
What happened with that?
So I was on my motorcycle, gave a little too much gas, pulled a wheelie, and fell off. Went unconscious for a little bit. And basically, she's upset that because we're not married, she wasn't able to
make medical decisions for him.
able to make medical decisions. But I have parents that are more than willing to make
Parents
those
are always busy.
decisions. If you call my parents a number of times for an emergency, they're definitely gonna stop what they're doing and basically get to the hospital.
Well, that's because they don't take after you and leave people on red when they're not together. But your parents showed up and they were able to make that decision on your behalf?
Yes.
And you're upset because you wanted to be able to make that choice?
Your Honor, for this motorcycle accident, I was pregnant with our 10-month-old. I was driving behind him and seeing the entire accident. So I'm emotional. I was very emotional. When I get to the hospital, it's just me, and the doctor asks me, do you think he would want heavy medication that could be addicting or a more subtle medication? And I'm just sitting there stuck with a decision that I want to make the decision, but I'm not able to.
Your Honor, I feel like, what else do you want? Like, you have my social, she knows my social, she has access to my accounts, right? Like, what else, like, what more do you want?
Well, it's so interesting because I think your 20s are really a great time to just figure out what you want out of life. You figure out what kind of career you want to have, what kind of job you want to have, and you're sort of navigating this space. Because once you have a child, and you introduce a life into the equation, the whole game changes. It's not just about you anymore. When you go out on those vacations to Vegas, normally it is about you. It's about your boys. It's about hanging out. But now it's a different decision making because it's what's best for my family. You're a beautiful couple, but some of these issues that you have is just immaturity and some of your perspective being misconstrued because you haven't started thinking as a team, you're still thinking as an individual. It's interesting because you mentioned your book and you gave my staff a copy of it. And I took a look. And I found it really fascinating that the first poem that you read was a message to your son. I just want you to read the first paragraph about what you wrote about your son.
Life is beautiful, and dreams make it more meaningful. I couldn't dream of anything to make my heart full, but when I see you, I see me, and there's no feeling comparable. At once emotionless, now I look into your eyes, I catch myself shedding tears. Your toothless smile, so innocent, praying I could protect you from any preconceived fears. My heart feels for you, like it's never felt for anyone else before. I want you to learn from me, but in time, I want you to learn so much more, because life is a battlefield. With each battle won, the war is never done, and you can always be better, just like I want better for you.
Those are the words that you wrote and expressed about your child. Because I'm gonna tell you something, he looks to you and to you more than anyone else in his life over the course of these next years as the people to learn from. So you wanna teach him the respect and admiration and discipline that you show in your life. He's going to learn that not by what you say, but by what you do. When someone says they're not ready for marriage, Ms. Rivera, the worst thing you can do is try to pressure them. Because I think he's still figuring things out.
Yes, Your Honor.
As you live life and you learn more and you see more, there are a lot of people in happy marriages. I'm one of them. Officer 1 is one of them. And I think that you're going to learn the value of that as you get older and as you get more life experience. And I think that perspective is going to change. But until then, you have to learn how to live together now. And then when you're ready, when the time is right and you have the proper foundation, go into marriage. I always say, if you build a house on sand, what happens when a storm comes? It comes tumbling down. So you want to go into marriage having fixed more of the issues and having worked through more of the issues that you're having now, because it needs some work. And it improves when you get the perspective of, you're not just making decisions on your own anymore, you're operating as a team. You have the big heart for your family first.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your friends come second when you have a family. And I haven't heard you bring up any of these issues. Your only complaint was you weren't getting some collard greens and yams on occasion. You have a beautiful, smart, intelligent woman who is a great mother. Every single day I come into this courtroom, we don't see that a lot. Appreciate what you have before you lose it and you don't have it at all. Good luck to both of you.
The best advice that Judge Faith gave me today was to go into marriage with a foundation, with a strong foundation. I'm definitely leaving here with an more open mind, and I'm gonna definitely take her advice with me.
So the best advice Judge Faith gave me today is basically really putting my family first. Not only financially, but being there and for the family. Although I do have a big heart, but my heart has to put my family first.
He does do a lot for us, and I plan on not being so judgmental and not putting myself first. He does have his own life.